Hi friends, welcome to Life Restored. It is Good Friday today and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Good Friday. I saw today a friend of mine post on Facebook a question that was put to him by one of his neighbors. Why do we call today a Good Friday? Because it's not actually good if we think about what happened to Jesus. That's true. In human terms, if we look at it, what happened to Jesus? A man being crucified and killed and tortured and ridiculed and humiliated. That's not good, is it? But why do we call it good? Well, when we say good, we see Friday from God's point of view. How God saw today. And it seemed good to God to put his son on the cross. It was not forced upon Jesus, but it was a choice that Jesus took upon himself. It's only in the Bible that we see where the hero dies for the villain, and nowhere else we see that. Because Jesus died for the very people who crucified him, the very people who betrayed him, the very people who hated him, and he died for all of them. And that's not what we would call good, because in our eyes, the villain must die, and the villain must pay the price, and that is good. But in God's eyes, he loves everyone because he made man in his own image and in his own likeness. We are all God's creation, and therefore God felt it's worth dying for the ones that he had created, even though we are evil. Sometimes it's very hard to comprehend what is good, what is evil, especially in the current climate that we live in, where we are seeing so many thousands of people are dying. Good people are dying as well as bad people too. And then we come up with this question, where is God in all of this? Let me explain and share a story. A few years back, when me and my wife, we were planning to travel abroad with our newborn son. He was less than a year old. But we had to take him to the doctor's surgery and get him all the immunizations and the jabs. And I could still remember to this day, I had my son sitting on my lap, and I held onto his hands and his legs so tight on my lap like this, so that the nurse could give him the jab. In his eyes, in this tiny little boy's eyes, he must have thought, my dad is supposed to protect me. He's supposed to keep me safe from all harm. But what is he doing? He's holding my hands and my legs so tight while this strange woman puts the needle through my arm. He can't comprehend that. But as a dad, I know that it's for his good that I had to let him suffer for that brief moment, so that he will not contract any malaria, typhoid or anything like that when we went abroad. In the same way, God had to let his son die on the cross and suffer all pain, not for his own sake, but for our sake, so that we can be healed, we can be restored, we can be forgiven. But on Jesus, it was not forced upon, whereas in my story, I held my son against his will so that we can do some good for him. But whereas with Jesus, no one forced him to die on the cross. Jesus said, no one can take my life away from me. I lay it down and I pick it up. And that's exactly what he did. Jesus willfully put himself, allowed himself to be crucified, for he saw it was good to die for the people that he created. And that's why we call it a Good Friday. Friends, I would like you to remember that every time when we come to cross, we must remember, when we say good, it's not our own terms, but it's in God's term. God saw it was good to die for the sinful, for the unlovable, for the evil, because he loved all of them that much. God did not come to condemn, he came to save, restore, and redeem. And that's why I call this channel Life Restored, because God is in the business of restoring lives. 2,000 years ago on a Good Friday, He hung on that cross, the most excruciating pain that anyone, any human being ever endured was on that cross. And it was the greatest miscarriage of justice, but still He endured, so that we may experience God's goodness. So next time when you look at the cross, challenge yourself and ask yourself the question, do I love others to the point that I'm willing to sacrifice for the ones who do not love me? May God bless you. Have a great Resurrection weekend. Bless you.